So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
As the Valley heats with NBA playoff basketball, the Phoenix Mercury are gearing up for another incredible WNBA season. Join us this summer to witness the return of Brittany Griner to the floor, alongside the GOAT, Diana Taurasi. For tickets and more information, visit phoenixmercury.com/tickets. We'll see you at Footprint Center on May 21st for the Fry's Food Store's Welcome Home Opener, when the Mercury take on the Chicago Sky. With 39 Valley-wide locations and more coming soon, you're sure to have a Cobblestone near you. Save time.
Have had. Of course, one of them was last year against Memphis. They lost that series 4-2. The other one came against the Nuggets. This is the second postseason meeting all time between the Wolves and Nuggets. They met up in 2004. It was a first-round matchup. And in that series, the Wolves were the number 1 seed. The Nuggets were the number 8 seed. So it's flip-flop this time around. Almost 20 years later. Those are the only 2 Game 1 wins for the Wolves. That one against Denver, they were the higher seed, the Wolves were, so that came at home. Most times, the Wolves have started their series on the road and as the underdog. I mentioned right off the bat in the open tonight that there's only, in the last 20 years, which is when the NBA playoffs expanded to a best of 7 in the first round. Nuggets with the ball here with a minute left to play. Reggie Jackson jukes on Austin Rivers, former teammates together, driving layup. No good because the shot clock expired. So 2003 was the first postseason where that first round was best of 7. There's only been 3 teams, 3 8 seeds that have knocked off a number 1. The last team to do it, Philadelphia, the Andre Iguodala, Drew Holiday, Lou Williams 76ers were able to beat the Chicago Bulls, mainly because Derrick Rose blew out his knee in one of those games. Nuggets have it here, a lob to the rim. Zeke Naji throws it down with 36 seconds left. The year prior, in 2011, Mike Conley led the number 8 Memphis Grizzlies to an upset of the number 1 San Antonio Spurs. Josh Minot rips it away from Ish Smith inside, then spun and lost the ball out of bounds. It'll be Denver basketball. Shot clock goes dark. Denver does not even have to attempt a shot. They do have to get it over midcourt. The only other team, number 8 to be the number 1, was 2007. The We Believe Warriors. Baron Davis, Monte Ellis defeated number 1 Dallas. The Nuggets move it across midcourt, and they will dribble this one out. A convincing win in Game 1. Nuggets 109, Timberwolves 80. And the Nuggets now lead the best of 7 series, 1-0. Game 2 set for Wednesday night here in Denver. It'll be an 8 o'clock pregame. It will be an 8:40 tip time with a possible 10-minute slide like there was tonight to 8:50. And, of course, actually, I got that wrong. Wednesday, 8:30 tip-off show. 9:10 is the tip. I don't know. I'll double-check the times when we come back. The post-game show, it gets underway next on the XL Energy Timberwolves Radio Network.
You hearing this? It sounds like
this is playoff basketball.
Time to tap into playoff mode. That nonstop, claw your way to the top, give it all you got type of thing. From inside the paint to outside the arena.
Where did this come from?
Everybody's got to get in playoff mode and stay in playoff mode. Every single round. The NBA playoffs presented by Google Pixel continue on ABC, ESPN, TNT, and NBA TV.
Why do we say I'm into basketball? Because basketball's exciting, like catching a t-shirt from a cannon or feeling the pulse of a packed arena. There's the in-your-face slam dunks, the highlight reel alley-oops, and the three-point buzzer beaters. It all gets your heart pounding. Just like playing the lottery. Minnesota Lottery. I'm in. Must be 18 or older to play.
This is the post-game show, recognizing FEY Industries as the Federated Insurance Business Partner of the Month on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Jalen Noel looking for the lob to Gobert. It's defended by Jeff Green. It comes off the glass. Nuggets have it. Porter Jr. to the corner. KCP wide open, look at a three. And this one is not just slipping away. It has slipped away. 81-56. Timberwolves are down by 25 points with 2:03 left to play in the third quarter. 81-56. The Nuggets just pulling away here in the third quarter. Yeah, too much firepower from this Nuggets offense. The fifth best offense in the NBA during the regular season. Really, that's probably selling them a little bit short because they finished the year 7-10. The offense sputtered during that stretch, but they dialed it up here tonight as they put up 109 points, shot 46%, hit 16 threes, 41% from deep, and they out-rebounded the Timberwolves by 16. It was a dominating performance. All five starters with 13 or more points, including 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists from Jamal Murray. Disappointing effort for the Wolves here tonight. They put up just 80 points. That is a season low. Their prior had been 88 points. They had 88 points in a loss at the LA Clippers back in December the 14th. That's before things started around. So they got 80 tonight. The Wolves' season low for field goal percentage was 39.5% in a loss at home to the Philadelphia 76ers. Tonight, they dropped that by 2.5 percentage points, to 37%. A season low, 37% from the field. The three-point shooting, there's a little more variance with that one, so this will not be a season low by any stretch of the imagination. The Wolves went 4 of 29 in a loss at San Antonio, 4 of 22 in a loss at the LA Clippers this year. They go 11 of 36, 31%, but still a really low number. And the Wolves just, their three, you can tell, I think free throw shooting tells a lot. And it tells me that this team was not focused and dialed in. They go 9 of 16 at the free throw line. 9 of 16 at the free throw line tonight. They got out rebounded by 16 in this game. They were down 8, -8 on the glass in the first half. They were down 8 more in the second half of play. Wolves finally didn't lose a quarter. It was 22-all in the fourth, but it got progressively worse. The Wolves were down by 3 after 1. They lost the second quarter by 8, so they trailed by 11 at the half. They got outscored by 18 in the third as that Achilles heel just flared up again. The Wolves with their 14th game this season where they've been outscored by 10 or more points in the third quarter. And the Nuggets went up by as many as 32, and they coasted to the game 1 win. 109-80 is the final score. Karl Anthony Towns, 5 of 15 shooting tonight, 1 of 7 from deep, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. Did have a team high 4 turnovers. Rudy Gobert was a -28 in his 26 minutes on the floor. And Anthony Edwards, 18 points on 15 shot attempts. He had 2 rebounds. He had 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Not a lot of positive numbers put up by the Wolves tonight. They just got shellacked. They got beat by a team that looks like the number 1 team in the Western Conference, 109-80. Coming up on the postgame show, we'll hear from head coach Chris Finch. We'll get our 3 factors. We'll have some highlights from this game and updated scores and highlights from the other playoff games earlier today. Timberwolves become the first team today to be a road team and not win their playoff game. All other games today, the road team won, including the LA Clippers, including the Miami Heat, and including the other game that was played today, which I can't even remember. It's so late. Final score here, 109-80. Coming back with head coach Chris Finch on our 3 factors next, all across the XL Energy Timberwolves Radio Network.
When it comes to your health, the unknown can be unsettling. But there's one thing that can calm that uncertainty. An answer. Mayo Clinic uncovers answers every day through exploration, teamwork, and innovation, which can lead to even more answers and help to find a path forward. So if that's what you're looking for, you know where to go. Mayo Clinic. Learn more at mayoclinic.org/answers.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I think you.
I meant US Bank.
I knew that.
US Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point of sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what US Bank is for. US Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Fans, the Timberwolves and Arby's are looking to get you free meats this season by lighting it up from downtown with the We Have the Threes promotion. That's right, we have the threes. So every time the pack cashes in 12 threes at a home or away game, all fans with the Timberwolves mobile app can get a free Arby's classic beef and cheddar sandwich. Just head to your nearest Arby's, show them your app, and boom! Limit one per customer and is valid at participating stores in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. For a complete list of participating stores, visit timberwolves.com/Arby's.
Henry Lake here, and if you love the Wolves as much as I do, join the Wolves conversation with me weeknights 6 to 9 on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The Bear could hit inside. The Nuggets come back the other way. Bruce Brown's into the game. Top of the key into the paint. Drops it back out. Gordon wide open on a three. Got it. It's the 9th triple of the game for the Nuggets. They've hit 9. The Wolves have hit 6. It's a 20-point Nuggets lead. Yeah, they go on to lead by as many as 32 here tonight, and they win this game by a final of 109-80. We're awaiting head coach Chris Finch. Let's go down and hear what he's got to say.
Yeah, for sure. I think we turned it over 4 of our first 5 possessions. I think we got one clean look, and we missed that too. But all night long, our offense was really, really off the mark. I thought we kind of set the tone early for ourselves by taking a lot of poor shots to start the game. Not playing with enough force, not playing with enough decisiveness. And then, obviously, just trying to find a rhythm out there. You can't turn it over. So,
and the physicality of the game in general, did you feel like they controlled that?
Yeah, for sure. Way more physical than we were. They played, like I said, they played with more speed, more force. They kicked their butt in every category that you possibly can imagine. Physicality on the glass, turning corners.
Chris, I know it's a long series and all those things, but when you get beaten to the degree that you were tonight, does it cause a little bit more of a sense of urgency or, to take a harder look at what you're doing to combat it?
We take a hard look at everything we do, John. So, it's, we're going to look at this thing. We're going to figure some things out. We're going to be better.
Cat was really struggling with shooting. Did you see bad shot selection? Did you see shots not falling?
Yeah, I think early in the game, shot selection was, an issue for him and everybody else. And then when he had some clean looks, he just couldn't get him to go in. So,
Chris, what's kind of the key to getting Ant maybe going a little quicker, especially when you are playing Carl and Rudy at the same time at the start of games?
Yeah, I think we got to try to get Ant to turn some more corners earlier in the offense for sure. I think we got to try to get him, or he needs to try to get himself going in transition too. He did a pretty good job in pick and roll tonight.
In the first half, the defense was strong. Do you hold on to the faith in that defensively with Carl on Jokic and what you did defensively, or kind of reflect on the overall result?
Yeah, we're going to look at it all. We have different. I think that worked for a little bit, then we changed it up. So, I don't think. I don't think we're married to any one thing right now. So, we're going to look at it and make adjustments. So.
Transition defense, the bigger issue.
Yeah, well, when you turn it over like the way we did, transition's always big with these guys, particularly with the way that Jokic, can stretch the floor with his passing. But the turnovers obviously got him going there in the third. So,
where do you think Rudy's at right now with his help?
Rudy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it's probably not 100%, but I wouldn't know where to gauge it. So.
Well, what's the key to? I mean, they were not paying much attention to him on the offensive end for you guys. What is the key to taking advantage of that?
Well, we got to get into their paint, make their low man make a decision a little bit more, open up some things for them. So.
Is that part of the problem, trying to get on the ball, maybe not getting deep enough?
Pardon?
Is that part of the problem when they try to get on the ball, maybe not getting deep enough before making that pass, not making them commit enough? Trying to give it to Rudy?
Yeah, for sure. I think we did. Yeah, we didn't really get them to commit for sure. So.
What does it mean to kind of play with more force aside from maybe just driving to the basket?
Yeah, I mean, you got to play quicker. You got to get your shoulder down. You got to turn the corner. We just bounced everything east-west in all of our actions, and we didn't put it, didn't get downhill on anything. So
it didn't seem like the team was alert at all tonight to the nuances of either end of the court.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were definitely not our best versions of our best selves here. So.
Do you think what you mentioned pregame, like almost like a chance to take a breath?
Yeah, could be that. Certainly. I don't. Felt like we were more ready to play. Thought the beginning of the game was, maybe we were a little amped, had some little nerves in there. But yeah, then we tried to make things happen all by ourselves at times. And that's not going to work.
Is that what happened at the beginning of the third quarter? The continual trying to force the ball in to Gobert over and over again, and just getting, I think, like 3 out of 4 straight plays with turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of them were trying to get him to Rudy. I thought that Rudy was open, that the passes were just poor. So.
Talk about guys trying to do it by themselves. Does that seem to be a trait that kicks up when there is more resistance? Like when things just get a little bit difficult, that's kind of a quick turn that's made.
I don't know. Maybe. So.
Any other questions?
Sort of limited Jokic's assist tonight. Does that mean that kind of plan to take away his passing a little bit?
I mean, it's hard with him. You got to decide what you want to make him. He's an outstanding, offensive player. Creates a ton of offense for his team and teammates. We just try to make it hard for him in every capacity we possibly can. So,
thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, there is Chris Finch in his post-game media availability, hearing that live here from Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, after a 29-point loss in Game 1 here to the Nuggets. There will be some more players coming up to the podium, so we'll carry that for you as well as we move along here on the post-game show. Let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have our 3 factors, 3 biggest reasons for Denver's 109-80 victory over the Timberwolves here in Game 1 tonight. That's next on the XL Energy Timberwolves Radio Network.
You've heard of all work and no play. Not at Treasure Island Resort and Casino, known across the region as Minnesota's premier entertainment destination. The island prioritizes fun and offers excellent benefits, flexibility, unlimited opportunities, winning experiences, and more. All day, every day. With their wide variety of departments, there's something for everyone. Take the island way to a unique and exciting career. Apply today at ticasino.com.
Hey, Wolves fans, got a young hooper in your family? Well, registration is now open for Timberwolves and Lynx summer basketball camp.
Round is back. Garza angle 3 on its way is good. Luka Garza knocks it down from deep. His 3rd 3 of the night.
Register today and save big with first access pricing.
Just off her hand. Oh, he rocks the rim. You gotta love it.
Head to TimberwolvesBasketballAcademy.com for more info. You're listening to the post-game show on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Timberwolves fall in Game 1 here to the Nuggets, 109-80. Mike Conley at the podium now. Let's join in.
No matter what the score is, continue to try to play the right way, continue to have emotion, continue to be have the the right intent when you're out there, because it does carry over to the next game.
It didn't seem like there was one thing wrong in the execution into the post, into the 2 bigs. It seemed like different things were wrong at different times, like it was almost like a group dysfunction.
Yeah, like I said, you can't put it on one thing. There was times where we just had guys, make or take tough shots for no reason, or bypass an easy play, for a harder play, leading to tougher situations, leading to turnovers. we stressed a lot in the last day just trying to get back in transition, but you can't guard transition when you turn it over, when you miss shots long and they get outlet and the guy leaks out. Like all those things add up at the end of a game, especially when you're playing against one of the better teams in the league.
Is it frustrating for you when your teammates are not mentally ready for the moment?
I think it's frustrating for all of us, me included. There was things I could do a lot better. Like I said before we started the series, it's a mental thing. You have to be prepared. You got to know all the plays, their plays. You got to know all the tendencies. Like you could really get to know the other team a lot when you go in these playoff series, and it's going to be a long series. We're not, thinking this thing is a one game show and this is how it's going to be. No, we're going to be ready to go. It might be a wake up call for a lot of guys on our team, and hopefully we'll be ready to go. In a couple of days.
You counted the damage that Jokic did. Is this one of the major dangers? A guy like Murray going off a little bit. What did he do tonight? What you guys?
Murray was Murray. He's one of the better scorers, playmakers from our position. You almost would rather Jokic shoot more than facilitate sometimes, because it wasn't just Murray. It was, Brown. It was Pope. It was Gordon. Like everybody, when everybody's going well and confident and comfortable, they're really, really tough. So we got to do a better job on all those guys, limit those easy opportunities for them, and, hopefully put a little more pressure on them.
Mike, this is as ineffective as the offense has been since you've been here. What was missing offensively specifically?
Honestly, it was the easy reads. Like it was, if the guy's open in the pocket, hit them, let them make the next play. Things that we had done, I think, a little bit in the last few games leading up to this. I think once the lead we started to lose lead a little bit, and it started to get 5 to 10 points. We started to try to do it ourselves. It became like one pass shots or no pass shots or just driving in the traffic. Like we got to, trust each other. Like I said a lot, like trust each other is important because there are ways to be effective against their defense. And we just got to find those pockets and swing it weak side and let other guys, just make those plays.
Why pick and roll is the big thing? I mean, that was what you were getting in the first quarter. Is it as simple as the volume of pick and roll just needs to increase?
Yeah, it could be that, and just being efficient in it. Like when we run it with intent to make a play. It might not be to score. It might not be to, shoot the three right away. Like it might be to take a couple of dribbles and be patient and hit the guy in the pocket or swing it to the corner and then let that guy make a play. Because granted, we didn't, even the shots we did get from actions, we didn't really, nobody really knocked down many, open looks. But if we generate enough of those, we generate enough opportunities, I think it just gives guys confidence.
Why has rhythm and movement offensively been so difficult to sustain? Like we see it when it's really good for you, but it just seems like consistently doing it game to game has been such a challenge. What do you think that is?
Every game is a different thing. I think sometimes it's trying to get with our two bigs, trying to get spacing correct, trying to get Cat or one of our bigs to be in the post, one to be up top, and sometimes both go down at the same time, and that can kind of jumble up the spacing. And when opportunities are there for us to do a swing to the corner, we might not have that guy there because Cat's thinking post up at that time, or Rudy's thinking roll, or the guy with the ball thinking ISO, whatever it is. Like we just got to be more connected on that part and understand that we got to use the spacing to create easier opportunities for us, because when the spacing's bad, we're slow, the ball sticks, and we have games like we have tonight.
When Jokic is posting up, is it hard for the off-ball defenders to not get caught? Just watching?
Man, it is. I mean, I got caught one time in the first half where he just, I don't think he was looking at the corner at all, but just slung it across the court right across my face, and I had no idea he even saw him. So like we have to do a better job of just being alert and aware. He's such a great playmaker. He's such a dynamic player that he can make all the plays. So whether you're on the ball, you got to pressure him, guys helping. Like you just always got to be aware of where your man is on the weak side.
All right, there he is, Mike Conley, Wolves starting point guard, in his post-game media press conference here live from Ball Arena after the Nuggets take care of business in game one. They win at 109-80. They lead the best-of-7 series 1-0. Attention parents, now's the best time to register your child for Timberwolves and Lynx basketball summer camps coming up. Open to skill levels, all levels, 3rd through 6th grade. Camps are being held throughout the metro region. Register your young hooper at TimberwolvesBasketballAcademy.com. Time for our 3 factors, 3 biggest reasons for the Wolves falling here in game one. Overall, the offensive inefficiency tonight is our first factor. The 86 offensive rating the Wolves had is a season low tonight. That's because they put up a season low 80 points. They shot a season low 37% from the field, and it gave the Wolves an effective field goal percentage of 43.8%. That's the 3rd lowest total on the season. And kind of morphing out of that factor is the Wolves' 2-point percentage tonight. I mean, they did okay from beyond the arc, 11 of 36. That's 31%. But 2-point shooting tonight, the Wolves, 42%. This is a Timberwolves team that finished 4th best in the regular season, one of the top 5 marks in NBA history, shooting 56.8% on their 2-point shots this year. 56.8%. And the Wolves shot 42.0% here tonight. They struggled to make their twos. They struggled to run their offense. They struggled against a Denver defense that finished up 17th in the NBA. Our second factor was the 3rd quarter. That was the Achilles heel for the Wolves once again. They got outscored 32-14, and it really started off poorly as they had 4 straight turnovers to begin the second half. They only had 2 turnovers the entire first 24 minutes, and they turned it over 4 times in their first 4 possessions. That really set the tone for a disappointing 3rd quarter. They get outscored by 18. They shot just 31%. They were 3 of 10 from deep. They were 1 of 4 at the free throw line. And in that quarter, they gave it up 7 times. 7 turnovers gave Denver 15 points. Wolves were also a -5 on the glass in that quarter. That really gave Denver their separation. They went up by as many as 32 points. And all you have to do is look at the box score and see all the plus-minus numbers, heavy plus numbers for Denver, especially from their starting 5. They were all tremendous. They all had 13 or more points, 24 from Murray. They got 13, 14, and 6 from Nikola Jokic. They got 18 from Michael Porter Jr. to go along with 11 rebounds. They got 15 from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He knocked down 3 of 6 from deep. And they got 13 points from Aaron Gordon, who had a big part of that 3rd quarter push. He had 8 of his 13 in that 4th quarter of play. Karl Anthony Towns approaching the microphone. Let's join in and hear what Cat has to say after a 5 for 15 shooting performance, just 11 points tonight.
Seemed like everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Got to flush it. Just move on to the next one. You know, they got game 1. It's fine. You know, it's a series, so we got to move on and get ready for the next one.
You were 2 for 11 through 3, I think. There, just what were you feeling with your shot?
Shot felt good. Honestly, it felt good. You know, when it was nice, it just wasn't going. I took good shots, staying aggressive. Shit happens. You know. Move on, flush the game. I'm a hell of a shooter. I know that, believe that, know it, proved it. So I just got to go out there and just make the shots next game, you know.
You guys kind of went from maybe one of your best games of the season at OKC
to one of our worst, for sure.
How do you explain just such a violent swing there?
It's the NBA. It's not forgiven, you know. It's just things happen. Just, you know, they did a great job. Give them credit. They had a long week preparing for us, and they got ready. And you could tell on the court they knew our plays. They knew what they were doing. So we just got to come back ready for game 2. It's a series. Just move on, flush it, get ready.
Carl, you got the Jokic matchup in this game, and in the first half, while you guys weren't scoring well defensively, you guys were doing a good job. They weren't scoring well either. Do you hold faith in that first half of what the defensive game plan was?
You know, coaches made a good game plan. I thought we did a good job of executing. Just transition, we got hurt. It was one of the keys for us to make sure we contain, and you know, we just didn't do it. So, like I said, we just got to flush it. There's obviously some good things I guess you could take from this game, but obviously it's one of our worst games, and we all didn't play well. So, including myself, we just got to get back for game 2. It's just that simple.
What's the key to taking advantage of Rudy down low when the opponent maybe isn't paying as much attention to him?
Just, you know, utilizing his size and ability around the basket. So we got good tape. You know, we got good tape to watch and just get ready for game 2. I mean, there's not really much to say. You know, I guess the game speaks for itself. So.
We're focusing on this so much. One of the dangers maybe of Caldwell from Murray just kind of have a game like that.
I mean, we did a great job of playing him, and pressuring him, obviously, but it's the playoffs. You need everyone to step up. It's not something like a regular season game, so there's always going to have to be people to step up to get a win every night. And their supporting cast did a great job of making shots and making threes, especially. So, give them credit. Move on to the next one.
The start of the third is where it got away from you guys. Just what were you seeing out there? Some turnovers, some missed shots. Like what was happening there that it just kind of all fell apart?
Just like you said, turnovers. They capitalized on the turnovers, made some threes too. They scored their most in the third. So, like I said, they hit shots. We didn't hit shots. As simple as that. So, move on to game 2. Get ready.
Carl, in transition defense, it makes sense to get hurt when the team has a turnover, but it seemed like they were really intentional about running out in transition off of your misses.
Yeah.
Is that one more correctable, and how do you do that?
Just make shots. I mean, I don't think this team has many nights like this. So, like you said, usually we kind of in the third quarter did both, including myself. You had turnovers and you had missed shots, and they capitalized on both of them. They're the number 1 seed for a reason. They had a hell of a regular season. So, they're very disciplined. They're very, disciplined in their approach. So, we just got to be better, all of us, including myself. Like I said, but flush this one down and get ready for game 2.
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate it.
All right, there's Carl Anthony Towns. You heard from Chris Finch. You heard from Mike Conley. Post-game coverage, second to none, all across the Timberwolves radio network. We mentioned the 3 factors, right? The offensive inefficiency, third quarter issues, and then just Denver's dominance, especially from their starting 5. And Bruce Brown as well. Include him, 6-man coming off the bench, had 14 points. A lot of that was in the first half. He had double digits and really set the tone coming off the bench for Denver tonight. They win this one easily, 109-80. They win it by 29, led by as many as 32. This is the Federated Insurance postgame show, recognizing FEY Industries as the Federated Insurance Business Partner of the Month. Wolves and Nuggets, game 2 coming up Wednesday night. It'll be an 8:30 tip-off show, a 9:10 tip with a possible 9:20 start time with a 10-minute slide. Then back home Friday and Sunday for games 3 and 4. Special thanks to our engineer, Jesse Trujillo, doing a great job. Our statistician, Dan Collins, doing a great job as well. Alan Horton saying so long and good evening from Ball Arena here in Denver, Colorado, where the Nuggets take game 1, 109-80. Stay tuned. Cal Soderquist continues with the postgame next, all across the XL Energy Timberwolves Radio Network.
Fans, the Timberwolves and Arby's are looking to get you free meats this season by lighting it up from downtown with the We Have the Threes promotion. That's right, we have the threes. So every time the pack cashes in 12 threes at a home or away game, all fans with the Timberwolves mobile app can get a free Arby's classic beef and cheddar sandwich. Just head to your nearest Arby's, show them your app, and boom! Limit 1 per customer and is valid at participating stores in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. For a complete list of participating stores, visit timberwolves.com/Arby's.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I thank you.
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point of sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender member FDIC.
When it comes to your health, the unknown can be unsettling. But there's one thing that can calm that uncertainty. An answer. Mayo Clinic uncovers answers every day through exploration, teamwork, and innovation, which can lead to even more answers and help to find a path forward. So if that's what you're looking for, you know where to go. Mayo Clinic. Learn more at mayoclinic.org/answers.
Tip off your day with Timberwolves News with me, Vanita Sakar. 6 to 9 weekday mornings on WCCO.
All right, a rather tough result for the Minnesota Timberwolves this evening in this game 1 of the best-of-7 series with the top-seeded Denver Nuggets. Wolves trailed by 11 at the half, but really things unraveled to a larger extent in that third quarter. Nuggets jumped on Minnesota right out of the gates in that second half, ballooning their lead to 29 entering the fourth. And this one was essentially over at that point. 109-80 is your final score. Nuggets capture a 1-0 series lead with that dominant third quarter performance. You've heard from head coach Chris Finch. You've heard from point guard Mike Conley and center Karl Anthony Towns. Still to come, we'll run through a few of the highlights from this one. Again, many of them are Denver Nuggets related, as you might guess. And then we'll catch you up on the other games that unfolded earlier on this Sunday before we say so long. And thank you one final time for staying up late with us here tonight. Let's dive into the highlights. Wolves and Nuggets, game one of this series. Minnesota clinching their playoff spot with that win on Friday over the Thunder. The Nuggets, meanwhile, have known for quite some time that they were going to likely be the top spot in the West. They did have to sweat over the final week as they sort of limped to the finish, but again, they built up such a cushion with their strong start to the season. They essentially were able to cruise to a 53-win campaign. And early in the first quarter of this one, they got the hot start they coveted, making sure to get their crowd into this ball game. Aaron Gordon turning some defense into offense.
Now Towns, an up fake. 30-footer on the way. That is not a good shot. Towns had the offensive rebound and got stripped. Aaron Gordon comes away with it. He's got pace. He's got purpose. He bowls over Conley, spins inside, rises, and hammers with two hands. 8-0 start to this game. And this crowd is into it. Aaron Gordon just playing some bully ball.
So an early 8-0 deficit, certainly less than ideal for the Timberwolves, but give the Wolves credit. They did withstand the early flurry from Denver, and then Minnesota managed to make a run of their own.
Kyle bottled up at the elbow, out to Mike Conley up top. 13 to shoot, back to Anderson. They'll push it up from just inside the free throw line, and that swishes through. Just like that, the Timberwolves have very calmly, coolly, and collectively taken a 1-point lead. 17-16. 7-0 Minnesota run. J-Mac set to check in at the whistle. Jokic straddling the three-point line up top.
Yeah, big-time response from the Timberwolves. It's certainly just the first quarter of this first game, but this is going to be a series about runs, about adjustments, and about withstanding some of these rallies, especially when you're on the road. So great job by the Wolves bouncing back after falling behind 8-0 in the opening minutes of this ballgame. Kyle Anderson hit that floater right there. He led Minnesota with 6 points in that opening frame. Wolves had a lead with just under about a minute to play in that first quarter. Then Denver scored the final 4 points of the frame to carry a 26-23 advantage into the second. And after that final 4 points in the first, Denver carried that momentum and turned it into a larger rally.
And on a drive, runs it up over Jokic. The layup too strong. Rebound tapped out. The Nuggets have numbers. Michael Porter Jr. off to Green to the corner. KCP. Catch and shoot three. Bingo. Can't miss layups. Ant was under duress, but he was back behind the play. So were two other Wolves. It was easy pickings at the other end. 11-4 Denver run. They lead by 10, their largest lead of the half.
An 11-4 run to start the second quarter. You add those final 4 from the first, and you've got a 15-4 Denver surge that allowed them to build a double-digit cushion. Minnesota then rallied as close as 5 a couple different times later in that second quarter, but the Nuggets answered right back and made sure to carry plenty of momentum into the locker rooms at the break.
Wolves are shooting 40%, 4 of 13 from deep. Nuggets have a very average defense. Murray, the penetration off to Porter, rises up, and a thunder slam with the right hand. That's a loud two, as Chris Finch likes to say. Denver 10-4 run. Up by 11, their largest lead of the game. Wolves need a bucket here to end the quarter. There's 1:19 left.
Yeah, up 11 at that point. That was the Denver lead at the half. 55-44, Nuggets with the 11-point advantage. Wolves in that first half shot just 39% from the field, only 4 of 14 from long range. And again, hanging around down 11 is not an insurmountable deficit, but Denver just kind of controlling and slowly and surely building up that advantage throughout that second quarter. Wolves did a pretty good job of taking care of the basketball. Actually, both teams really good in that first half. They combined for just 6 turnovers total between the two teams, but unfortunately taking care of the basketball would become a problem for the Timberwolves. very early in the second half. Denver started that third quarter with 6 straight points. Minnesota, meanwhile, started that second half with a missed 3 from Karl Anthony Towns and then 4 straight turnovers. That allowed Denver to make things worse for Minnesota before they got better.
Including Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert, who are with the Timberwolves. More misery for the Wolves as Porter Jr. fires a catch-and-shoot straightaway 3, and he got fouled by Anthony Edwards. Ant picks up another foul. That's his 4th, and it's a 4-point opportunity for Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, 4th foul on Anthony Edwards. The only silver lining from that sequence, I guess, is that Michael Porter Jr. missed the free throw that would have capped off the 4-point play and given them the 20-point lead. Unfortunately, that salvation was only temporary for the Timberwolves as Denver later in that third continued to pour it on.
Jalen Noel looking for the lob to Gobert. It's defended by Jeff Green. It comes off the glass. Nuggets have it. Porter Jr. to the corner. KCP wide open look at a 3. And this one is not just slipping away. It has slipped away. 81-56. Timberwolves are down by 25 points with 2:03 left to play in the third quarter. 81-56. The Nuggets just pulling away here in the third quarter.
A 26-12 Denver run to begin that third frame. They continued to pour it on, ultimately outscoring Minnesota 32-14 in that third quarter. They led by 29 entering the fourth. They ballooned that lead as large as 32 just a couple minutes into the final frame and were able to cruise to this 109-80 victory over the Timberwolves. Jokic not really needed in the final frame of this one. 13 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists for him. Jamal Murray led the way with 24, but all 5 Nuggets starters got into double figures. They shot 16 of 39 from deep. That's a 41% mark. Denver as a team shot 46% from the field overall. And again, still managed to take care of the basketball with just 11 turnovers in this ball game. Outscored Minnesota inside 48-36 in the paint. The Wolves really never shook off the first half shooting struggles. They were 37% from the field, just a 31% clip from long range. Anthony Edwards led the Wolves with 18 points, took him 6 of 15 from the field to get there. Jalen Noel had a dozen to lead the bench, most of that in, mop-up duty, you could say, or when this game had really gone sideways on Minnesota. And overall, they are left just picking up the pieces from a 29-point rout. You heard from head coach Chris Finch, Mike Conley, and Karl Anthony Towns, all three essentially echoing that message that it is just one game. There's still plenty of time in this 7-game series to adjust and follow suit with a response of your own coming up in Game 2 on Wednesday. But certainly several things the Wolves are going to have to clean up if they want to avoid this type of lopsided loss coming up on Wednesday. For Alan Horton, I'm Cal Soderquist saying so long. We thank you again for staying up late with us here this evening. Also, big thanks to our on-site engineer, Jesse, our on-site statistician, Dan. Both guys doing excellent work at Ball Arena in Denver. Timberwolves, not so much. They're going to try to go back to the drawing board, catch their collective breath, and come back with a better response in Game 2. As we have so often seen this team do throughout the season, just when they put forth a real head-scratcher of an effort in terms of a loss that we maybe did not see coming, they usually bounce back quite well right away in the upcoming opportunity. So we'll see if the Wolves can do that on Wednesday. Game 2 will be another late one. Get that afternoon coffee fired back up. It's a 9 o'clock Central Time tip-off, as Alan mentioned. We could see that tip time slide up to 10 minutes, but regardless of when we actually get started, we know we will have the tip-off show for you beginning at 8:30 here in the Central Time Zone. So everyone enjoy the start of your week. See if the Wolves can get back on track on Wednesday. We hope you'll join us then all across the XL Energy Timberwolves Radio Network.
You've been listening to Timberwolves Playoff Basketball, brought to you by U.S. Bank, the official bank of the Minnesota Timberwolves, equal housing lender, member FDIC. By Xcel Energy, matching you with clean energy-saving solutions, because energy is everything. By Mayo Clinic, your source for medical answers. And by Aura, the official digital security partner of the Minnesota Timberwolves. This has been a presentation of the Timberwolves Radio Network.
This has been a presentation of Odyssey Sports, presented by Indeed. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire.
Good evening, Jonathan Lowe here in the News Talk 830 WCCO studios, giving you a quick wrap-up of the night. Timberwolves unfortunately lose tonight in Denver 109-80. As you just heard Cal Soderquist say, Game 2 will be Wednesday night, 8:30 pregame, just after 9 for the tip-off here on it'll actually be on Wolf 102.9 to start, and we'll join it in progress here on 830. The Twins will be in Boston, playing in Boston Tuesday night and Wednesday night at 6:10 both nights. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Wild will try to get their first win in the playoffs tomorrow in Dallas. So again, we will talk to you tomorrow in the morning. Thank you for joining us tonight on News Talk 830.
Sprouts Farmers Market is your destination for good for you and good for the planet products. Specializing in organic produce and responsibly sourced meat and seafood, you'll find sustainable, earth-friendly favorites across the store. For a limited time, save money and time when you shop online. Get $20 off at Sprouts when you shop curbside pickup or same-day delivery. Visit Sprouts.com or download the Sprouts app and use code EARTH2023 at checkout for $20 off when you spend $100 or more for pickup or delivery. Must be signed in to qualify. Available in select locations. Visit Sprouts.com/online for details.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
If I would have kept making only the minimum payments on my credit cards, my debt would have taken me 47 years to pay off.
These are real National Debt Relief customers.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to get out of debt by myself.
Credit card, medical, or personal loan debt? National Debt Relief negotiates with your creditors to reduce what you owe.
National Debt Relief got me out of debt.
You could be debt-free in as little as 24 to 48 months. Visit nationaldebtrelief.com to learn more and get started. nationaldebtrelief.com.
Make the precision decision with Precision Air.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. Arizona has the hardest water in the nation, and your tap water can wreak havoc on your plumbing appliances, clothes, and your skin. Right now, for a limited time, Precision is offering a free in-home water test. We'll test for minerals, salt, chlorine, and hardness. No hassles, no obligations. Call 602-765-PIPE or visit us online at precisionairandplumbing.com.
You don't have to be a marketing pro to grow your small business. With Constant Contact's suite of Contact.com to get started for free.
Look, you did the tough thing during COVID. You paid your people and pulled your business through the pandemic. And now doing the tough thing could qualify you for up to $26,000 per employee at covidtaxrelief.org. Government funds are available to reward companies with 2 or more employees who stayed open during COVID. This is not a loan, and you don't have to pay it back. This program is complicated, but nobody knows more about it than the CPAs and tax experts at covidtaxrelief.org. You pay nothing up front. They do all the work and share a percentage of the cash they get you. Businesses of all types, including nonprofits and churches, can qualify, including those who took PPP loans, even if you had increases in sales. You did the tough thing for your employees during COVID. Let covidtaxrelief.org help you get up to $26,000 per employee. Visit covidtaxrelief.org. That's covidtaxrelief.org. covidtaxrelief.org.
I'm sure you've seen the news recently. The military shot down 3 objects just last month. Balloons, UFOs, UAPs. What is really going on? This is Payne Lindsay, host of Up and Vanished. Follow my new investigative podcast, High Strange, as I dig into the most infamous UFO stories of our time, talking to the real witnesses, and presenting all the evidence for you to decide what you believe. High Strange is a new true crime series, and it's available right now. Listen for free on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, just stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Adam Carter. The folks at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, hips, shoulder, and back. The precision treatments are done in the office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond the steroids or surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, you need to be living life to the fullest, doing the stuff you love to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Just call QC Kinetics now, 612-254-7123, 612-254-7123. That number again, 612-254-7123.
This is the Near Field Communications Test Channel. If you have any questions or problems, please call Near Field Engineering at 573-893-1955.
The perfect blend of entertainment and enlightenment. News Talk 830 WCCO, KMNB HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul, an Odyssey station.
4 people. Dozens more were hurt. Correspondent Christian Benavides has more.
Dadeville, Alabama is a community mourning after gun violence broke out at a 16th birthday party. Residents and some survivors of the shooting gathered for a vigil Sunday night. Witnesses say teenagers are among the dead and injured.
We're going through in a very methodical way. We're going to do exactly what we need to do to ensure justice is brought to bear for those families.
Investigators are collecting evidence at the Mahogany Masterpiece Dance Studio, where the party was held Saturday night.
Police in west central Minnesota are mourning the loss of one of their own. Pope County Sheriff's Deputy Joshua Owen died in the line of duty while responding to a domestic call Saturday night. Scott Mueller is superintendent of the Minnesota Bureau of Crime Apprehension.
The man drew a firearm and immediately began shooting at officers. In the ensuing exchange of gunfire, the man and all 3 officers were struck. Life-saving efforts were given to Deputy Owen and the male subject. The male subject died at the scene. Deputy Owen was transported to Glacial Ridge Hospital, where he later died.
There is just a day to go until most Americans have to file their taxes, that is, online or mail it off to the IRS. April 18th is tax deadline day. IRS Commissioner Danny Werfel.
Well, of course, there's still time. We're not at the deadline yet. This happens to be our busiest time of the year. We expect around more than 30 million tax returns to be filed.
But tax day is delayed for many, where natural disasters caused widespread damage. Overseas now to Sudan, where the prospects for an immediate ceasefire appear to be slim. A battle's raging for a 3rd day for control of the country by its 2 ruling generals. A doctors group says at least 41 civilians were killed Sunday, bringing the 2-day toll to 97. More from CBS's Remy Inocencio.
In this fog of war, both militaries now claim control of key installations. A power-sharing deal in 2021 between them after they both led a coup now broken. After a deadline for a return to civilian rule and eventual democracy expired this month.
Do you know what song this is? That's the inspiration for the game Hurdle, and the game is going bye, bye, bye. It's the Name That Tune game inspired by Wordle, where users try to quickly guess a song after hearing only a snippet of it. Spotify, which only just acquired Hurdle last summer, is not saying why it's ending the game. This is CBS News.
Hire with minimal effort and maximum success with Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for the weekend? Right now, generic Viagra, aka Sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends what you need in discreet packaging with 2-day shipping. Generic Viagra from $4 at Roman. Go to ro.co/bed. Do it today and get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/bed.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Small balance medical debts that appear on credit reports keep credit scores lower than they would be if the debts were not there. Now the debts are coming off credit reports, potentially boosting scores.
The three major credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, are deleting medical debt of less than $500. That means almost 70% of all medical debts sent to a collections agency will no longer appear on credit reports. Government officials have long questioned whether debt that isn't taken on voluntarily should be used to calculate credit scores, and have been pressuring the credit bureaus to remove it from consumer credit reports. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
You have until Tuesday to get those taxes filed. Failing to pay and file taxes when due could lead to penalties of up to 48% of your original tax bill plus interest. Last year, the average refund amount was $3,175. Matt Piper, CBS News.
The free Odyssey app brings you the most up-to-date info and shows wherever and whenever you want it. Kind of like DoorDash, for your ears. Except not only do we do it for free, we also won't show up sometimes at the wrong address. Download the Odyssey app today and enjoy all your favorite live streams and podcasts from News Talk 830 WCCO.
CBS presents America Changed Forever with CBS News correspondent Jeff Pegues.
Welcome to another edition of America Changed Forever. I'm your host, Jeff Pegues. This week, the Department of Justice asked the Supreme Court to wade into the legal battle over the abortion pill. The DOJ move came after an appeals court issued a decision that continues to make the pill available, but the appeals court blocked a number of moves by the FDA to make it more widely available.
The White House is promising it will fight to keep the abortion pill mifepristone available to women. Jen Klein is the Biden administration's point person on abortion-related issues.
It is safe, it is effective, and there is no reason to be removing it from the market at this point.
The conservative Texas judge behind the ruling to ban the drug argues that the FDA improperly approved it 23 years ago, ignoring legitimate safety concerns. But at the time, the FDA actually spent triple the average amount of time studying the drug. Mifepristone is one of two approved pills that are used together to carry out more than half of legal abortions in the country. Some Republicans are already leaning into that fight.
Maybe come a point where House Republicans on the appropriations side have to defund FDA programs that don't make sense.
So here we have another battle over the future of abortion in this country, as emerging presidential candidates gauge how big of an issue this will be in upcoming elections. In fact, it has already become a thorny political issue for down-ballot races. And so that's where we will begin this program. Today, an exclusive with Nancy Mace, a Republican from South Carolina. Congresswoman Mace, thanks for coming on the program.
Good morning. Thank you.
So tell me, before we get too deep into the conversation about abortion, I want to know about your district. Tell me about the district that you represent.
Right. I represent South Carolina's 1st congressional district. It's along the southern coast of South Carolina. Beautiful islands and beaches. We love clean air, clean water, and clean environment down there, where our economy is charged by tourism. We have a lot of military bases. We make Marines in the 1st congressional district. We're home to Parris Island as well, and a number of other military bases and installations. And it's a very patriotic place. But also it's very much a very independent-minded place. And so we often will march to the beat of our own drum And I don't always take positions that align with my party, which is very much reflected in the vibe and the feelings and positions of the area that I call home, the place that I call home.
Isn't that a dangerous thing to do politically? You said you don't always follow the party line. Those weren't your exact words, but isn't that a difficult thing to do in this kind of political environment?
It is actually, and I would argue, the only Republican to beat the former president in a Republican primary last year. And this is a very difficult political environment. And I think it's difficult for moderate Democrats with progressives within their party. It's the same for Republicans who are more centrist minded within our party. It can be very dangerous. My primary last year cost millions of dollars, but I am in a very purple district, and I won my primary by 9 points and would go on to win a general election by 14. When 2 years ago I won it by 1 when I flipped the seat from Democrat to Republican. And so it really depends on your district too, and the values that I have are very much reflected in the people that I represent. I try to represent, I have to represent everybody. I mean, Republicans are not the number one party in my district. They're not the biggest party. It's actually independents. Independents in this district outnumber Republicans by double digits. And then not far behind Republicans are Democrats. And so it's lopsided in a way that most Republican districts or Republican office holders, it's unlike most Republican office holder districts anywhere else in the country in that regard.
Did you vote for former President Trump in 2020?
I did vote for him. I will not be supporting him in the primary this time around. January 6th was a day that I don't ever want to remember. And I want our country to look forward. We have to look beyond 2020 and 2022. And as a party, we need to look for leaders that can bring together the diverse opinions, political opinions of the people of our country. And it's not so one-sided anymore. There are people that are left of center, right of center. There's a reason why Republicans can't win the majority population vote in a presidential election, because we're not reaching folks that have more centrist opinions, more independent-minded opinions. And that will continue to plague us if we marginalize voices within our party that are different or have a more independent lean, or even, in my case, I would argue I'm small L libertarian-ish, and take some of those positions where I'm very fiscally conservative, but then I tend to be socially sensible, socially moderate, and centrist in a lot of ways. And as someone who is that way, I'm constitutional conservative as well. But I have found a way to work and reach across the aisle. Like, I found a way to work with folks that are not in my party and to be effective. I had the President of the United States. I worked with Ro Khanna last year. We did multiple cybersecurity bills that the president signed into law. And that should be the goal of every elected official, regardless of who's in power, is what can we do to make our country better? We need to ask ourselves that question. And that's kind of the way that I approach things.
Well, which brings me to the issue of abortion. You are taking a moderate stand. I mean, right now we have all of these court cases dealing with abortion-related issues. You very publicly said that, hey, the GOP needs to sort of have a more moderate position. Why do you feel that way?
Well, after Roe v. Wade, and let me preface what I'm about to say, is that I am a pro-life lawmaker. I want to protect lives, but also at the same time, when Roe was overturned, everything changed. And I saw it in my district where we were, about 50-50 on abortion previous to Roe v. Wade. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, the sentiment in my district went from 50-50 to 60-40 pro-choice, literally overnight. And I recognized that at the time, listening to my constituents, doing town halls, doing interviews, writing on the issue, and listening to the people that I represent on all sides of the aisle, that people had changed. The overturning of Roe reverberated in South Carolina in a way that I don't think anyone saw possible. And it was, the pushback on it was significant and it was severe. And it is one of two reasons that I believe that we lost many seats we should have won in the midterm elections last November. So when I talk to constituents, I have taken that feedback in and said, wait a minute, there's got to be some middle ground. And I use this as an example. I receive a message on abortion every single day, whether it's a phone call, email, text, or handwritten letter, whatever. It is the number 2 issue in my district. And when you look at purple districts, they have a temperature gauge for where the majority of the country is. And not so much the far right or far left type of districts, but this is where the majority of people are, somewhere in the middle. And I just saw that change overnight. And I said, wait a minute, we've got to find a way to navigate this. And so far, by and large, Republicans have been tone deaf on the issue. And they buried their heads in the sand after Roe v. Wade. And they have dug their heels in on an issue where the American people are vociferously pushing back. And I want to look at what Governor of Florida did in the middle of the night, signing the 6-week abortion ban into place. And that is not where the country is. And I don't know how we trust somebody who's going to make that kind of decision, sign that kind of bill into law in the dead of night.
We're going to have more of my exclusive interview with Nancy Mace right after this. This is America Change Forever.
We'll have